Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's entertainment. We do got the League of Girls Judgement. We are in round one, the very first round of the night, ladies and gentlemen. So you haven't missed a thing. I'm the FourCourtJester, and with me tonight is going to be Snickersnacks. How you doing, girl?
I am doing amazingly. I've been really pumped for this tournament ever since I heard about it a few weeks ago, so I'm really excited to cast it.
I was asked about it 2 days ago, so I don't quite have the hype, but always happy to be helping out with the community and meet an awesome new cool person. So, hello.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to working together with you for the first time.
Alright, so, League of Girls, and, it is going to be, I think we have at least 3 rounds of games tonight. Do you actually know the rest of the details, and we can fill in all of our lovely viewers?
We have, to start off with, you and I are going to be casting the SexyShady versus Applefire game.
Okie doke.
And then after that, we are going to be casting the bottom bracket winner from round 1, whoever that ends up being. And then we will be doing an we're going to be doing the top bracket loser from round 2, simultaneous with Pato and Highwind casting the finals for the top bracket winner.
Sounds like a plan. So, we have at least 3 games then, lined up. We do have this game ready to go. I'll just bring it up onto the screen, and we do have the teams now in chat. Now, it is a tournament draft game, but I've been told that they're going to be doing picks and bans in chat, so not entirely too sure how we're going to be proceeding, and apparently we're just going to be proceeding. That's going to be that. So, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1, round 1 here of the League of Girls Judgment Tournament, and enable the anti-ghosting mechanism. Done! Excited to get this going. Apparently, I'm a little quiet, so not too sure why. You can hear me fine, right, Snickers?
Yes, I can hear you fine. And can I just say that I'm really thankful that they decided to go with tournament draft mode, because this really cuts down the amount of time that it takes for both teams to do bans and picks.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've been doing this a long time now. I remember back in the national ESL days, picks and bans in chat, and of course there's no timer, right? So we'd be sitting there literally 45 minutes sometimes for the teams to decide who they wanted to pick and ban.
That is quite literally what happened to Pato and myself last week when we were casting the very first round of games. Our team picks and bans took 45 minutes, so thank God that that's not like that this time around.
45 minutes. That's,
yes.
It's pretty ridiculous. But it looks like they're going at a pretty decent pace right now. On the left-hand side, band champions Blitzcrank, Shaco, Diana. I don't know if you're really into staying up late and watching the Korean stuff, but do you see Rapid Star from Team Azubu Frost dominate mid with Diana? It was a sight to behold. Plus, she's a girl and it's the League of Girls tournament, so she's going to get banned.
Yeah, I didn't catch that match, but I know from personal experience playing Diana as well as my friends playing with me as Diana that she is an extremely strong pick. I would say broken right now. It's really not okay for a champion to be able to clear a minion wave save for the cannon at level 8 with her Q.
Diana is perma-banned every game now, says one of our chat members. Not too surprising. She's pretty ridiculous. Alistar, Shen, Morgana, goodbye. See you later. And we do got a few picks now coming out. Udyr, first pick, blue team. I don't know about you, but I don't really see a lane deer these days, so it's a pretty safe bet that Udyr would be in the jungle. But we do got a Riven and now a Katarina. Oh, did I lose you?
I'm really excited to see Katarina in a tournament game after her remake, considering I haven't seen her a whole lot. I don't think a lot of people even played her since everybody figured out that you can interrupt her ult very easily, so she hasn't seen a whole lot of play in the last 6 months at least, which means a lot of people haven't adapted to the remake and haven't been playing her in tournaments. This is actually the first time that I'm going to see her in tournament play since then.
Well, if you take a look at the bans, I mean, Blitzcrank is out of it, Diana's out of it, Alistar, Shen, Morgana, all champions kind of anti-Katarina. Maybe less so Morgana, but yeah, I mean, she had the third pick, and she did see, a Misfortune and a Soraka. Soraka with the silence might be her downfall, but we're going to have to see if Beauty can actually get around that.
Amumu, of course, a really strong jungle pick right now. They banned Alistar and Blitzcrank, so I think he's probably one of the go-to junglers in the current meta for team compositions right now.
Well, I mean, Amumu has always been a strong pick in my eyes. He's a really decent clear, and he has some pretty decent ganks, especially level 6. You combo in that bandage, of course, skill shot does take a little bit of skill to land it, but overall I've always considered him very strong. I'm kind of really sad that we don't see him much anymore, and hey, AP Amumu for the lulz. I mean, come on, who doesn't do that?
Amumu definitely has the downfall of needing to definitely get either red or blue to begin with. If he has that denied or taken from him by the other team via an invade, then he's extremely set back and his ganks will be really weak and behind for the rest of the game. So the Amumu jungle pick requires that most of the team is going to need to set up defensively around him. So we're going to hopefully see Amumu successfully defend zone blue and be able to move through the jungle successfully and create some of those early game ganks.
Yep, it's all up to Team Applefire to kind of put on that kind of pressure. Let's see the rest of the team. We do got an Ari taking mid and a Jinzhao up top. Could be a jungle Jinzhao, I suppose, but typically these days, especially after that remake, a very strong top lane. Anybody that watches Guardsman Bob would instantly notice the strength that a Jinzhao, when built correctly, can bring to a team in that top lane. Flip side, blue team, SexyShady, they got Domistress. I almost called her the Doministress, but she's going to be taking that Janna, and we're going to be rounding things off with a Tristana. And now that we do got the observer timer ticking down, take away the anti-cheat and ban. There you go. You can now see all the summoners, and we got ourselves a game ready to roll.
Yeah, so while we're waiting for the delay to run down, I do want to point out that Tristana is running heal, which is a really unusual choice as of late. The meta with using a really passive farming bottom lane with using heal to heal bait some initiations hasn't really been seen a whole lot, especially in tournament play. We've been seeing a lot of more aggressive exhaust ignite combinations from the bottom lane pairs. So kind of interested to see how Tristana uses her heal, being that she's up against Soraka and Misfortune, who are running the more common now exhaust ignite pair.
It kind of did flip-flop through a little bit of an age, didn't it? It used to be everyone with exhaust ignite, then we went through this clairvoyance and healing phases. Now, you know, full circle back to the ignite and exhaust. But I mean, it is going to be an issue, especially because Morgana also further reduces healing with her auto attacks. But at the same side, you know, Tristana, her E, that burning E of hers, can of course reduce the heals coming out from Soraka, so they're kind of balanced out that way. We will come down to seeing if we can get a heal bait first blood, or if the spam coming out of Soraka Misfortune is going to be too much for Tristana to handle.
It's good to have Soraka with Misfortune, of course, because of the mana that she can give her. That'll allow Misfortune to put on the harass, and of course Misfortune is typically a very aggressive bottom laner. Loves to fight for bush control, loves to fight over last hits, loves to bully you out of the lane. So Tristana, with her reduced range at the beginning of the game in the early levels before she kind of gets her range up into the 600 level area, is going to need to play it pretty safe in the first few levels.
Well, playing it safe, especially with the Udyr going to be running around that jungle, we're going to have to see you know, what he can bring to the table. You know, he does have a good speed increase with that bear, and it does bring a stun and a pretty decent amount of tankiness in those early ganks. Now, if he can combo nicely with Riven, of course can close those distances very quickly. We're gonna have to see what Jhin can do about that up top. But with an Amumu, you know, kind of guarding his back, and of course Jhin with some extremely high burst from level 3 onward. You know, I'm just kind of getting excited about this game. We got 15 seconds until we do go live, and guys, you are watching the League of Girls Judgement Round 1. I'm the FourCourtJester. I'm going to be your stream host and your camera today, but not to be overlooked, Snickersnacks here are going to be providing us the inside scoop on everything going down tonight.
Yeah, more than happy to provide some analysis. I'm definitely going to be talking about some good options throughout the game, how the teams are doing in terms of items and CS, and what their best position options are.
Now, in terms of a level 1, do you expect to see any kind of stream invades coming out of this? I know Mumu can be a pretty good initiator, but so can that hard stun coming out of Udyr.
I would personally like to see and like to do jungle invades myself. I know that Amumu, of course, we mentioned earlier that he really needs to protect that that initial blue or red, depending on which path he's going to take. So what I really want to see is Udyr take bear, Riven take stun, and see some invade. But we'll see if they decide to be that aggressive. This is the round one game, and typically teams, more often than not in Judgment tournament games for round one, tend to play it a little bit safe. Try not to invade, try not to, risk that first blood, throwing away that 400 gold.
400 gold is nothing to sneeze at, especially before even minions come out. That's an entire, well, depending on how you shop, that could be an entire extra Doran's Blade that you come back to lane with. It could be a very powerful opener. But you can see here, we got some skinning to win. Entire top hand team, Team SexyShady, Team Blue, they're entirely skinned up, but not to be outdone except for Bubble Doodle on Team Applefire. So we got 9 skins. That's an excellent indicator that we're going to have an amazing game, and we're just going to be waiting for these last few summoners to get this rolling. Now, I'm a little concerned about the ping on Sandstorm Katarina there.
Yeah, Beauty gets them also. She's running the Ghost Ignite, so obviously she's going to be wanting to get those early kills, have the movement through the jungle to go up towards top lane or bottom lane to pick up the extra assists and kills that mid lane typically does through the laning phase. So it'll be interesting to see if she can actually overcome her ping issues and take advantage of her mobility.
All they need to do is just combo ultimates. Janna can fling them away just as Katarina gets off that ultimate finally. Yep, that sounds like a perfect idea to me. It's kind of counterproductive.
The Amumu, I'm assuming, based on the Ghost pick instead of the Flash, that he is definitely going to want to jockey for position. He's definitely going to look at SexyShady's teams, trying to set up for that Katarina ult, trying to get everybody clumped together so that she can just ult in and do maximum damage. Amumu, of course, would wait for that to happen and then Q and ult in, and the rest of his team can follow him.
Alright, game is now loaded up. Gonna be hiding the music, bringing up the UI, and I do have to very quickly just add one extra file here. League of Girls, yes, a very big League of Girls icon. There we go. Bam! UI is now set up, ladies and gentlemen, so give it up for your blue corner, Team SexyShady. They're going to be heading out here in the mid lane. Top right, however, Applefire, the contenders. Who is going to be moving on here in this League of Girls Judgement tournament? Who's going to go home for a shopping spree? Do not know, but we're about to get this game rolling live. Click, 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 click. What are you clicking so much for?
I had to turn my League volume down because I cannot listen to the game sound effects and you at the same time.
Aw, well, aren't you just a sweetheart? Does not look like any kind of rank 1 or level 1 fight's going to be coming out. In fact, it does look like a very defensively positioned blue team and red both at their blues, so, not exactly going to be the most energetic start, but if both teams can get off to just the normal, then we're going to have to see what they want to go from there. I am noticing Amumu not going to be starting at his Wolves, instead opting to go blue first, and it is going to be a Phoenix stance Udyr. He should be able to make short work with the help of Riven or Katarina of the Wolves that come up for him. Overall, just looks like a very normal start.
Yeah, very defensive. Of course, want to protect Amumu, getting that blue. Like I said, we don't normally see in the Judgment tournaments a round 1 invasion. People don't want to throw away the first game. They play really cautiously and defensively, and as time goes on and they get more settled into the tournament style, they loosen up, get more aggressive, and hope to see some really big plays around Dragon this game.
Well, there we go. The Blues are going to be off and away. Amumu going to be trying to pick up his as quick as he can, and it is going to be Misfortune Sirach at that bottom lane. No shenanigans going on down here. It is going to be that passive lane setup as you were talking about a bit early. Now, my interest is going to be this top lane. How is Riven going to stack up against Xin Zhao? Looking at him, 16 armor pen, 10% on top of that, and 3% lifesteal off the bat. And he is not rocking any kind of Doran, so he is taking those masteries, so that does tell me a little bit that he is going to go very offensive, not exactly defensively built.
got the back and forth on the CS going in bottom lane. Misfortune doing a really good job of just kind of playing it safe. Both teams have warded that bush. Blue team, of course, warding aggressively, trying to allow Tristana to take advantage of their cautious gameplay early on while she has the reduced range on her auto attack.
It will be somewhat of a nuisance. And talking about that bottom lane, I mean, Misfortune with a heal and infuse Soraka, she's going to have a lot of opportunities to get those double ups off. And there you go, exactly as I tell you. 2 auto attacks bringing that as well. I mean, that's really going to hurt that Yordle in the bottom lane. And you can tell top, again, Jhin being very aggressive upon that Riven, forcing her back just a little bit.
It's good for Misfortune to take advantage of the fact that she knows Jan is leaving to ward. Red team does have that ward in position in the river, so they know when Jan is going to move away and take advantage of Tristana's inability to defend herself, of course. We've got Amumu up top.
Red and blue, he's going in. Yep, there we go. The advantage going to be the first blood with that ignite under the tower. Excellent skill shot positioning out from that Amumu, and excellent timing on that gank. Again, Jhin going very aggressive, was able to create that opportunity, and Mei Karuma just sitting in the jungle looking a little sheepish.
Really good on Bubble Doodle to slowly pick down Riven's health, create that opportunity for Amumu to come in and gank, and of course Amumu, good on him for landing that Q and being able to clean up the kill.
Mumu dropping a little bit low in the jungle, but there's absolutely no danger for him, so he's going to be able to pick that up, no problem. Head on back now with that extra gold, should be able to complete it at least 1 gold per 10, if not just go straight out for the boots. And these days, at least amongst the higher market, you do see more and more of those boots and mobility. So I'm very interested to see what Mumu's going to grab, and it is just going to be that Heart of Gold first item. Looking at bottom though, SexyShady has that ignite, landing on top and bringing her really low, and a great exhaust coming out on top of Love Christina, and it's just not going to be enough. The double up was available, but she didn't go for the super lucky kill on top of Tristana. Either way, blue team forced back, not looking so good, and Team Applefire, they're coming up ahead a little bit.
Yeah, we did say SexyShady get a little bit overextended without Janna there to shield her, and took too much damage, forced back, isn't there to get the last hits, isn't there to defend the turret, so Misfortune is free farming and gonna push that lane forward.
Miss Chili with that extra cash actually went for the purple ward and cleared out the dragon or river ward that we had. Mei Karuma just going to be going over top of it, but absolutely nothing that she can do about this, and they are going to be dropping a little bit of vision. In fact, there are no other wards for Team Blue on the map at this point.
Both Amumu and Udyr are making good progress through their jungle. We've got Udyr with red right now, and Amumu as well. Both of them are level 4, both keeping in time with each other. Amumu does have the one advantage of the kill that he got with the first blood 400 gold. His investment was a Heart of Gold, of course, so he's got the cloth armor, plus the extra health at this point, plus cranking on the G per 10, so he should slowly but surely, if he makes consistent progress through the jungle, come out on top in terms of items.
Especially since the fact that we don't even have our Philosopher's Stone for Udyr, so already he's down about 150 gold in terms of the kills, the creeps, as well as that gold per 10 cranking out, as he did say. So a little bit of a gold advantage coming out to Team Applefire, 7.6 thousand to the 6.4. We do got Mei coming south, however, for that lane gank, but it does not look like it's going to become anything fruitful. Up top, Mumu gonna say hi, and we did actually have the ward down in time, so Riven able to back off, learned from her mistake. I do commend that. And oh my goodness, I made the worst mistake ever, missing a kill in the mid. But Ari does go down, and it does look like Katarina able to put a kill on the map for Team SexyShady.
Janna putting down the pink ward to clear red team's pink ward. Udyr did go bot earlier on, about 30 seconds ago, trying to come in through the lane for a lane gank, but they pinged and let him know that that was warded, so he's back into the jungle again.
Oh, it's like, why can't I hear any of the game sounds? Master volume is a derp sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe that's a little bit too loud. Sarah getting a little bit of damage up top. Jhin still trying to be a little bit on the aggressive side. Looking at him though with that extra Doran's Blade and the Boots of Speed, it's a little bit of an advantage over top of Riven, but check out that creep difference in the top lane. Riven 22, Jinzhao 52.
Yeah, that is definitely attesting to Xinjiao's ability to control the lane, to shove Riven away, to do a little poke damage here and there to keep her intimidated and prevent her from CSing.
Now we do got a possible gank coming up top. The bear stance coming out. Udyr, they are going to get juked out a little bit by Bubble Dooble, but there goes that Ignite, and there is that intense burst coming up from Xinjiao, absolutely melting Riven. Now we do got Karuma on the retreat, a lot of creeps on her backside, but the double flash comes out. Can Bubble Doodle defeat a 2 versus 1 by himself? The bear stance is trying to run so far away. We do got Katarina coming in for a little bit of support. She's going to be meeting Jin face on, lots of damage going down, but they are about to equalize, and now even Beauty gets him, having to run away. The last tick of the ultimate, not going to be enough for Applefire to pick that up, but as I say that, the charm comes out, and bam. Bubble Doodle, top lane Xinjiao, defeating 3 members of Team Applefire, or sorry, Team SexyShady, and Applefire even able to go home with a kill after that. Very impressive play.
Yeah, Udyr should have kept an eye on Xinjiao's items. He did have the cloth armor, had the added armor, so Riven was incapable of doing much. She went down really fast. Udyr probably should have bailed as soon as he realized that that was going to be too much for him to handle.
And check out what Jin went home for. He picked up the tier 2 boots, health crystal, and another Dorn's blade on top of things. There's a saying out there, once you start losing top, you keep losing top. So we're going to have to see some really hard work come out from Team SexyShady if they want to try to bring this lane back into their favor. But Jin is going to have none of it. The combo landing down on top of Sarah, and she does force a retreat. Yeah, she does get forced to retreat. And just the power of that spearman, it is awesome to see.
Xinjiao is turning into a honey badger rapidly, just doesn't even care what Riven does. She's trying to CS, she's trying to bully him and get aggressive, but he just shrugs it off, gets his own last hits on the minions, and pushes her away from the minion wave whenever possible.
I have absolutely no idea what Udyr was trying to prove by tanking a dragon through 3 team members of Team Applefire, but they're going to be easily taking home the spoils of war on that one, plus another kill to their name. 4-1 as the score. 10 minutes in, we almost have, in fact we do, have a 4k gold difference lead. And that is pretty remarkable at 10 minutes in.
That is pretty incredible. We don't have any turrets down, but we do have some invasion going on. Amumu trying to pick up red. Katarina's pushing him off of it though and pinging for Tristana to come back around. Ari's gonna follow Amumu up and see if they can steal it from them anyway. Katarina and Udyr coming around the side.
It's not going to be enough for Tristana. She's literally walking right into the mouth of death, and she does go down without a fight. A great flash from Applefire and an ultimate from Amumu lands the double kill for Ari, but now Mumu could be in a little bit of trouble. Katarina looks like she's out for vengeance. Karuma not getting the right memo, actually backing off, leaving Beauty get some to drop to her enemies, and that is going to be another quick 3 kills for Team Applefire, plus their red. Remarkable.
We did see from Amumu, he waited until Katarina ulted, and then he came in and ulted on top of her, had the follow-up from Soraka and Misfortune coming from bottom lane to track down Katarina and make sure that she didn't get away.
Well, regardless at this point, Applefire's team just seems to be making the big play. Sarah really just shoved up against her tower, and Xinjiao just going to go straight past her and is going to be able to clean up this next creep wave. That's going to be a lot of passive damage that the tower now has to soak, and it will be putting Sarah to basically the metal in this top lane. She's pretty much all alone, really behind in terms of the creep, the farm, the kills, and overall it's just not looking good for Team Blue at this point.
Red team does see an invasion possibility. Xinjiao easily taking down Udyr. Udyr caught off guard completely. There are no wards defensively in their jungle, so this is going to be an easy blue pickup for Xinjiao.
Now that's both buffs taken away from Team SexyShady. That's a very powerful thing to hold in your hand at 12 minutes into the game.
Riven's desperately trying to catch up on the CS. She decided not to even bother trying to take blue back away from them and steal it. Instead, she's just going to farm, but unfortunately, she is completely unaware that Xinjiao and Amumu are right there.
Yeah, Xinjiao going in with that lead. Here goes Amumu and his cry. Good bandage toss. I was expecting the ultimate, but it is not going to matter whatsoever. Bubble Doodle able to take home a 3-0-2 score after that kill, and a great cooperative effort there from Miss Chili. 9-1 as a score, nearly 7,000 gold difference. It's looking, again, just slippery slope for Team SexyShady. They have to try to coordinate a little bit better here if they want to start turning this game around.
We do have a lot of aggressive offensive wards from red team all throughout bottom jungle and the river up near top lane. Ari, of course, doesn't seem to mind Katarina trying to farm in lane. She's just kind of doing her own thing, has about a half a level ahead of Katarina. Misfortune and Soraka are catching Janna off guard. Janna has to shield herself, and of course SexyShady is too low to really do anything or create any sort of follow-up. They're just going to sit on the turret and wait for that minion wave to come forward.
That's pretty much all they can do at this point. With hit points like that, I would not want to go past my tower either. But check this out. Honey Badger, I think, was the best description you could have given me for this Jin Zhao, because he does not care whatsoever. Tower diving that Riven down past half health. Riven does finally have the tier 2 boots, double Dorans, but that offensive abilities are really just getting negated by the sheer power of Jin Zhao.
He is significantly ahead of Riven, double the CS, he has the 2 Doran's blades, he has the Ninja Tabby, and he's building into, I'm guessing, an Aegis probably, or a Heart of Gold to keep up that tankiness. He doesn't really need damage at this point, he's doing plenty of it as is. Riven is behind in levels as well, and we're looking at close to the 15-minute mark where you start thinking about whether you're going to take that turret down. That's going to create some plays where people can start roaming, especially Xin Zhao, who could go into mid lane and significantly mess up Katarina.
As pointed out in chat, the legendary words of famous StarCraft pro and commentator Artosis: when you get ahead, you get more ahead. And that's exactly what Team Applefire is doing here. 9-1, 8,000 gold. The creep difference is starting to really show, as well as those kills. Plus, of course, we do got the Dragon, and the fact that we have stolen a number of buffs from Team SexyShady. So at that 15-minute mark, we almost have... Wow. I'm looking at Jin Zhao. I was going to say he's going to go for his Bloodthirster soon, but he actually might. He has a BF sword as well as that Phage this early on into the game. In fact, I'd have to say he's probably the richest member in the game at this point, and that is not too far from the truth. 5,200 gold earned. Nobody even close to that in terms of gold earned at this point, especially on Team SexyShady.
Everybody on SexyShady's team right now is behind in gold. It's not looking very good for them in terms of being able to afford the ward coverage that they would need. Obviously, Red has warded Tribush. They can see Udyr and Riven right now. They know better than to push forward, so they're going to back off. Ari's going to sweep down through the river, perhaps?
At this point, I think they're just content to waste their time. I mean, look at Bubble Doodle up top, about to take that tower, does not care, just goes straight for the next wave. Ari and Amumu do look like they are going to be finally now responding to this, but Sarah, I mean, she's totally been forced out of lane. She's not farming. Jin now has a free fall, almost a snowball avalanche going on top of this next tower in this top lane, and 130 creeps to boot. It's just like, she doesn't want to go out there and deal with this anymore. It's like, but she has nowhere else to go.
Katarina coming through the jungle, thinking about helping Riven out. Doesn't look like she's going to, though. Dragon is up. Red pinged for it about 20 seconds ago. They're going to look to make a play down that way. Ari's going to join them. Udyr is coming around this side, but Soraka and Misfortune know that they have a Mumu there.
And bam, Bubble Doodle with the perfectly placed trap, lands it on top of Sarah, but only takes out about a third of her hit points before forcing her all the way back. And now it does look like she's going to be taking a little bit of courage and just try to stick it out in that top lane. But at this point, we do have Team Red gathering up. As you did say, Dragon, it's a thing that's alive, and it needs to die because it has our precious, precious monies. Ward going down, they are going to be able to see this, but very smartly, Miss Chili tries to move out the Dragon. And we have a flash going over from that Udyr. Udyr now kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Applefire just having her way with him. Here comes Christina as well as Beauty gets some, but at this point I think all Beauty can do is just run away.
That was an unfortunate flash by Udyr, put himself completely out of position with his team coming around the side of it. Got picked off easily. Katarina couldn't do anything about it. And Ari wasted her ult, or not wasted, sorry, but used her ult on killing Udyr, so couldn't finish off or catch up with Katarina, but she is going to continue bullying mid lane, has the level advantage.
That could have been a better idea. I've seen better ideas, Tristana, but half health in the brush up against a fully raged out Xin Zhao who's about to steal your blue. Yeah, nothing you can really do about that. Amumu now in the jungle as well, taking Udyr's Wraith. So again, we're in this business of denying Team SexyShady a lot of their jungle buffs, and that's just going to be putting them further and further behind. Between 3 turrets now, 2 dragons, and 10 kills, the gold lead has now expanded to 13,000 gold. I'm fully expecting a 20-minute surrender at this point.
I'm going to say that I agree with you also. Misfortune and Soraka decided to take the turret down. It is getting to that point where we're going to be looking at more 3 and 4 man ganks and some more team fighting. Misfortune, mechanical error, wasted her ult down in bot lane while they were taking the turret, but no worries, she's going back to buy, and by the time she's back in lane and back in the action, her ult will be up again.
It does look like she is in the business of getting an Infinity Edge first, but she's not going BF Sword, instead opting to get the extra crit off the bat. Now, Powerhouse Xin Zhao, again, Honey Badger I think was the perfect way to put this, so big props to you there, Snickersnacks. But Bloodthirster and Phage, that is a nasty combination, especially with his knockup.
He does have the blue buff. He was expending a lot of mana trying to bully Riven completely out of the lane, which he was very successful in doing. So Xin Zhao with blue buff and red buff is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Now we can see 4 of SexyShady just hanging out here in the mid, but we do have a ward in that bush. Are we going to go for the 4-man gank on top of Ari as well as Misfortune? It is, and right up against the wall, they immediately melt that Ari. Finally, another kill, fresh blood for SexyShady. The ghost is being popped out. Here goes that bear stance. They're looking for Love Christina, but unfortunately for them, they are not in the jungle. This could be a good opportunity for them to grab this blue, but you can see how they kind of fragment and go the other way. Soraka wisely not going to be face checking this one, but Miss Chili might be going for the steal.
I definitely think that Red Team has more of a definite team communication going on there. Blue Team doesn't seem to know whether they want to take middle turret or whether they want to take blue. They're going to need to really pull it together and fight as a team and catch some of the red team off guard if they want to get back in this game, because they are behind in kills significantly. Red team has almost twice their gold at this point.
I'm kind of curious to see if Bubble Doodle can actually 5-on-1, and I think she might be going for it. Oh my goodness, just melting down Janna, going for the double on top of Katarina. She drops in fairly short order, and now Bubble Doodle is not quite done yet. Going for the knockup, and the combo is going to grab the triple with the help of that Misfortune. So maybe not a 5-on-1, but I do think that this is definitely an avalanche lane. Look at that, 7-0-2. Xin Zhao just goes right back to lane. No worries, yeah, I'm just going to push it right up to that inhibitor. Mid lane, however, we are going to have Applefire and crew putting pressure on this mid, and with 3 kills, more to their roster, there's absolutely nothing that SexyShady can do about it.
We've got some split pushing going on. I will point out that at this point, they have all 3 lanes pushing with Creep Wave alone. It's a really good idea on blue team's side to push that creep wave out, maintain it at least to the river if they can, and get their jungle defensively warded if they want to have a chance at the end game.
Well, 21 minutes in at a score of 14-2 and a difference of nearly 15,000. That endgame could be very quickly approaching, as SexyShady is just really in the red at this point. We do have finally a BF sword now on both Tristana as well as Riven, and not quite a Rylai's on Katarina, but she does have herself the Hextech Revolver and the Giant Spout, so the 2 big parts of the build coming together, but she's the only person on the team with kills at this point, so it's kind of a starved team. You can see no real big items being created at all at this point.
Yeah, Tristana hasn't finished any item whatsoever. Riven hasn't finished an item either. Those are going to be the 2 big players in terms of AD damage, so that's definitely setting them back in terms of damage output. Not going to be able to make it in a team fight anytime soon. They're going to need to ward their jungle defensively and catch at least one person on red team off guard so that they can pick some kills back up.
I'm just going to take a quick look at comparing the gold values, but Tristana in that bottom lane sitting at 4,200, whereas Miss Fortune 7,100. Almost an entire infinity edge of difference between the farm of those 80 bottoms. Now, Riven 4,800 to the Jhin of 9,700. That's 5,000 gold difference. That's more than an infinity edge. So
we just saw Soraka pull ahead in terms of gold ahead of everyone on blue team. Unfortunately, that means that everybody on Applejack's team is ahead of blue team in terms of gold.
And yet again, the Xin Zhao in the jungle, taking the buffs. Notice that it was not warded, or is that... No, that's... Yeah, that is a... Sorry, that is a blue ward. So, they did see him, but apparently that wasn't enough Q for Janna to get out of dodge, because she instantly melts. We do have a Trinity Force now on that Xin Zhao, so that Sheen just doubles his burst. It is a ridiculous, ridiculous lead.
Xin Zhao is 4 levels ahead of the highest level person on SexyShady's team. He is a beast right now, and there's no way that blue team can actually push out and deal with him by himself because we have some super pushing going on mid lane.
That's not going to matter. The flash in from Bubble Doodle nearly takes down that Riven, but right to the tip. But he will be able to take down Tristana, as she does not have enough escape mechanisms to get out of this one. We saw Love Christina blow the ultimate into the mid, thus keeping them bottled up in the base, but Team SexyShady is literally just running around, not entirely too sure what to do at this point, and without any kind of items completed, it is just them dying. That's essentially all this is. I can't even call these fights. These are massacres at this point. Down goes Janna yet again. I think she was alive for about 5 seconds between deaths on that one. Applefire is going to be able to get out of that one with the ultimate, as Christina going for the flash and the double up, able to land another kill into her ledger. Down goes the top turret, down goes the top inhibitor. The mid now on its way very shortly. The creeps are back up, Tristana's back up, but look at that Xin Zhao just instantly pops that skill and is just like, get out of town. And that's exactly what Team Blue does.
Yeah, blue team, unfortunately, no chance to survive. Better make your time. Going to take down the first Nexus turret.
Wing Zero? I love it. Nobody's pulled that reference on me in a while. Down goes Katarina. She tried her ultimate. Unfortunately, it did not quite work, and there's the surrender vote. 25 minutes in, 20-2 as the score with a 20,000 gold difference. A very overwhelming victory, I must say.
Yeah, we definitely saw some really big plays from Red Team, taking advantage of the early gold advantage from the first blood for Amumu. Definitely seeing the Xin Zhao gank with Amumu top, giving him the advantage in that lane, and of course catching SexyShady off guard, repeatedly overextending Miss Fortune, picking up the kills early on, gave every single lane a pretty sturdy lead going about 5 to 10 minutes into this game, and that momentum just carried it forward through to the end.
And carried it through to the end indeed. Again, a very overwhelming victory. Congratulations to Team Applefire. They will be moving on here in the League of Girls Judgement, which means we're going to go to round 2, and I believe we are on the bottom bracket winner. So, where can we actually find the brackets for these Snickersnacks?
So, I actually have a file that Highwind handed off to me. I'm not sure if the other games have actually wrapped up yet. I'm going to guess not, because that was a pretty quick 20-25 minute game.
Okay, so at this point, the current plan, wait for the other games, figure out what our next team matchup is going to be, and then we're going to go live with round number 2, guys. So, we will give you guys updates here on the FourCourtJester channel, and by all means, feel free to check out the other stream going on by Raise Your Weapon. I believe it's twitch.tv/raiseyourweapon, but I will get you guys a chat link to put in there. You guys can go off and see what the other League of Girls teams are doing. But, you know, we are going to be sitting here, FourCourtJester and Snickersnacks. I'll be in chat. Fairly sure we can probably do some kind of AMA with Snickersnacks. I know you guys want to know about her. I know you do. I see you in there in chat. So, yeah, enjoy the music, and we'll be back. Still got stuff, so don't go anywhere.